Hey guys, welcome back. It's me, Hebot, your host of Collectibles in My Closet. And today we're going to have some fun. This one is kind of a little controversial piece so far with the second wave of the Tamashii Nation's Bandai Gundam Universe. This is the ASW 4, I think it's G-08 Gundam Barbatos, but I'm just going to call them Gundam Barbatos. And as you guys see here in the corner, it is the fourth figure in the series as a whole and the fourth figure numbered in Wave 2. So he would be the first one of the wave. So let's get into it and let's check him out and let's talk a little bit about him, because this Gundam, people are complaining that it's too bulky, that it's too massive in comparison to his design. And again, like I've seen in promotional shots of upcoming higher end Gundam figures from Bandai and other people making them, the discrepancy is really not that major, and people just keep making it up, in my opinion, of what I've seen, way bigger deal than what it should be, because these things should be treated properly based on the pricing and based on each individual line. So let's get into it. Here's the box, as you can see, keeping up with the traditional window box opening. Here is the actual there's an actual silhouette. If you see, that's the crown, and that's his face, and that's the side of his plate of the face, and it's like I would say a champagne type of red. Here is a beautiful cell of anime cell of him from either a comic book or maybe some type of artwork somewhere. As you can see, he's the ASW-G-08 Gundam Barbatos, GU for Gundam Universe -04. The Tamashii Nation seal of quality and authenticity. Tamashii Nation's label there, as you can see. And my camera keeps going dark, I don't know why. As you can see there. And the Bandai logo on the side. A wonderful promotional shot of the figure in high quality. That says GU4 and Gundam Universe on top. Gundam Universe on the top of the tab. Gundam Barbatos with a window on the top where you can look at it as well. On the side, Gundam Barbatos, ASW-G08, Gundam Universe again, and then in the back, you have another high quality promotional shot with obviously special effects. You see explosions, and you see dirt, and you see him on the sand, making it look actually, super high dynamic to give you a better look at the figure in a more dynamic situation, for playability and for kids' imagination, really, or not really kids, but for the adult collector that likes to, pose their stuff in a higher quality and display them with actual displays in the back. So then in here over the corner we have a picture here of the figure in a dynamic pose. It says here again, action figure articulation. Action and articulation, and then it gives the BIOS again of when Gundam first began in 1979. So I don't have to really read that, you guys know. Two little shots of how the joints of the articulation works for some dynamic posing. Then the two promotional shots, obviously, of UC Unicorn Gundam O2 Banshee, which I already reviewed, and the last but not least, Gundam Death Scythe. And then Gundam info for their website. Bluefin Distributors, which is a store out of California that specializes in Japanese anime figures and toys and companies. Bandai Namco Group, and of course, as you see here, it says, please handle with care and store out of the reach of children younger than 15 years or older. So this is basically telling you this is not for children. This is for kids or teenagers to adults that are more in the age bracket of 15 years of age and obviously older. So without further ado, what we'll do is we'll take a look at his accessories and then a look at the figure itself. So stay right there and sit back and relax. So as we've seen so far with this line, most of the accessories that come with it are either 2 pieces of weapon, maybe some effects of laser beams or the beam lasers, or a blast effect, a backpack or a thruster, and then 2 interchangeable hands with the hands that come with it. So 4 hands in total. So we'll start off with his main weapon, which is kind of a malice, or a big mace malice, and it's all in black with a black plastic, with a black plastic finish. Now I do not know if this is supposed to have any type of colorization and certain types of detail with color, because I'm not familiar with the actual character in the animation, because I think he's one of the newer Gundam suits, obviously. But it does look pretty cool. It does look pretty organic, I guess, in design, and it looks like it would really make and cause a lot of damage. So for what I'm seeing and gathering, this character is more of a melee type character. Now we'll move right along and we'll look at his backpack thruster accessory, which is in plastic white. Looks really nice, and it has the black indentations there, painted. I think they're painted in black, but very cleanly painted and very nice and neat, with a lot of nice little details that are stitched on, that you can probably ink yourself with marker or certain types of paints to make it stand out more for those who like more details in their Gundams. And again, he comes with this set of hands, which are fist closed with these plates on tops that look like brass knuckles for the Gundams, which look really cool in white and gray. And I think it's just 2 pieces attached that are glued together, which is because based on what you see here, how it's built, which is pretty cool. Those are the ones that come with them on when you get them out of packaging. I switched it out to the open hands for the sake of the review and the purposes of the review, so I can just add the weapons as I'm going along so you guys can see. And then he has this blade all in black. Again, it's a black plastic looking really samurai-esque for robotic, in a robotic mech style universe. It's kind of plain, it looks cool, it's kind of plain, has nice detail. But again, I don't know, as I told you guys before, I don't know if it's missing any type of details. And if you guys know in the comments when you look at the review, please feel free to let me know and correct me if I said something wrong about it. I'm not sure. I just, this is how it comes out of the box, so I have to assume that that's the way it is. Keeping in mind that it is a $20 or $25 range premium adult collectors line, but that they have to obviously take some cuts because it's not to actually bring it out at a better pricing, because it's not of a higher end premium rate. So let's take a look at the Gundam himself. Now, I've been telling you guys that the reason why I really got excited for this line is because when my son was very young, I used to build him the Gundam model kits. And I don't know how much the Gundam model kits have expanded or have modified or gotten better as far as quality, or maybe not as good through the years. But I know that when I did them for my son, I had a fun time with him. He was very young and he really enjoyed them. But obviously, him being young, he did not know how to really take care of them and had them displayed on his windowsill, and he kind of let them get messed up. No thanks, obviously, also to the help of his little brother. But, so this is really cool because this is an action figure form, or in a collectibles figure form, where it's already built and set in stone. The pieces are attached. You don't have to worry about gluing things apart, back together. Yes, the articulation might be a little bit limited in comparison to the model kits, but that comes with a better, that also comes at a cost, because the model kits always fall apart. You always got to keep worrying about losing parts. There are very little parts in there that you got to be always afraid of losing. And then if you lose it, it loses the integrity of the figure. The figure pretty much becomes, useless, because if you miss a part like like a crown, let's say, or a shoulder pad, and you can't find it and it gets ruined, it ruins the figure. So this is something that's already there, built, that doesn't really come apart like a model kit, and you don't have to worry about losing parts. And that I think that is superb, in my opinion, and it with the reality of how things are based off the difference from the model kit to what we have here in a collector action figure, or a collectible figure. So let's take a closer look. Here is Barbatos, and I don't see the problem. I really don't see the problem. This figure is really nice looking. He has really nice colors. He's nice and clean. He has a lot of nice different colors. He has some blues, some yellows, some orange highlights here, I believe, and on the shoulders. These are yellow panel lining, reds, orange here in the panel lining, yellow here. He has even in the kneecaps, even on the heel of his rocket shoes. I mean, I don't see the problem. Okay, compared to the one that's being made, that's a little bit higher end, that's going for about $50-$60. These panels here are a little bit thinner, so he looks thinner, and these shoulder pads look a little bit thinner. But I think they did it in this way to keep with the aesthetics of how the figures each look like next to each other, side by side, based off the ones they already released. So I understand why they did it, and I don't really think they overdid it the way people in the hardcore Gundam community have tried to point out and really complain about. Again, if you don't like figures in this series, you have the option not to buy it. And I don't mean to sound like an asshole, or I don't mean to make it sound like, that's not cool, because they should get it right. Each line is treated differently based off budgetary situations. Obviously, this line has a certain budget, and other lines are treated with different treatment and care based off budgetary and higher premium price points. So, if you want something that's going to look cool, because it is going to look cool no matter what, whether it's big or not, because it's a mech, it's not a human being, so it really doesn't matter if he looks lankier or not. It's a mech. And the representation is there. It looks like Barbatos. It's not like it does not look like Barbatos. Then why you bother to collect it? Don't collect it. If you don't like it, if I don't like something, I don't buy it. That's the way I've always been. And I could buy something that I like because it looks cool in the packaging, and then when I open it, I'll be disappointed. But I'll say I'm disappointed at this or that, but I invested in it, and it's not something that's going to kill me, and I deal with it. I don't cry or complain about it and keep daunting on the idea. Anyway, so we'll take a quick look at his face. Looks really, really cool, really, really nice, nice and clean, as you can see. He's kind of got those black printings, looking more like tribal, I guess, in his paint scheme. He's got some beautiful metallic sea green paint on his eyes that almost look like, with light, they kind of glow. Yellow panel lines on the plates on the side of his face, and the red panel line that's supposed to, it kind of looks like he had a goatee, and then the beautiful crown on the top that almost looks like it detached and turned into a ship, with the black on the tip, obviously above and behind the actual crown itself. So it definitely looks like a Gunpla, a Gundam, and in the aesthetics of traditional Japanese style mechs. Like the old school magazine Geyser and stuff like that. Looks really awesome. I think they did a phenomenal job. And for this price point, the quality of in the paint and the details, I think it's superb. Then here's the shoulder pads, which are in a hinge of articulation. So they move forward and backwards, like so. Up and down, they're painted in black. Shoulders, a nice blue, kind of metallically royal blue. The yellows, like I said, the oranges and in his chest, the red on his crotch and kind of his torso area, the outline of yellow on the bottom of the shoulder pad. This is all white. I think it's the way it's supposed to be. The orange lining on the shoulder pads as well. The yellows on the skirt. Then you have red here on the skirt, black. The blue on the elbow pads with the black paints of the hoses. He has a lot of nice paint, to be honest with you. On the thigh, the orange, and then on the kneecaps, the yellow, and again on the boots, the heel that are red. This is kind of the tongue of his boots. Looks really cool. And I think he just looks really, really dope. I don't think he looks bad at all. I mean, he looks like a mech that is about to rock and kick some serious behind. I mean, I grew up in the eras in the 80s and 70s where toys, look disgusting if you look at it today, but in comparison from today, even though they were a work of art at our time, but if you compare them to toys of today, they look horrible. This, for being a $25 to $27 figure, for today's standards, being an adult collectible for people that might still collect at an older age, this is fabulous. I mean, this looks great. I'm sorry, this looks great. I mean, you could disagree with me all you want, that you have that right, but I don't see the problem. And then the blacks here in the back, kind of by design. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's going to be a hindrance to the articulation, but still, all in all, pretty cool. And then the back piece, and then you see that detail of the holes and stuff before you put on the backpack. So for articulation, I said it goes up, goes down, that much, like so. That's it, right. And then he does have attitude from tilt to tilt, and it's in a ball rocket, so nice range. Then for the arm, it goes all the way up, like so. Shoulder this much, and it does go around, but when it goes around, you'll pop off the hinge of the shoulder, which I guess it was something hard to get around, but it does do it. Just to show you, then you have a double hinge elbow. It goes all the way up like that, which is very, very good, especially if this is a mech. He has what would be the bicep swivel, the hinge left and right, turn it around, and in reality it's like in a ball joint, the actual wrist area where the hand sits, right? Then with this one, we got all this range of movement forward this way, goes forward that much, and then he hyperextends backwards that much, which again with this series, and look at this, holy crap, you're actually able to do a complete circle with the swivel on the waist, or on the waist swivel. He does go left and right, as you can see, it's there, it's just tight. And that's another thing with this wave, the joints are a lot tighter because people complain. You see the tilt, how much it is? Keep it straight like this, keeping the leg straight. There's the tilt, and then when you move this way, there's the tilt. So he does have good tilt. With the first wave, the joints were felt loose and got loose fast on a lot of people. Then obviously on the skirt, these panel lines, they all raise to give you more range here for the legs. And of course the legs, ridiculous Van Damme split. That's not even right there. Like, that's what robot mech is gonna do that if there were really robot mechs that existed among us in real life? None. Then you see that's not even realistic. Obviously thigh swivel on the top. Oh, it popped out. There you go. It's there though. It's there, ladies and gentlemen. It's just tight. Thigh swivel right on the top here. Then we got a double As a matter of fact, if I pull this out, I don't know if I can. Can I? Yeah, I pull this out. Look, it's double jointed knee, but because of the design, you can't bring it up. But if you push the leg up, he will go all the way up. So that's a range that's really good. I've seen a lot of people try to say that you can't really pose these guys just because they don't look as sharp when you put them on their knees or things like that, which is trivial because they do have posability. Then you have the leg goes back that much, goes forward that much, left, right, and then whoop, whoop, rockers, whoop, do it again, whoop, rockers. So the articulation is there, and you know, I just think he's a solid figure. I think that if you're on the fence, you shouldn't be. Yeah, he may look a little bulkier than his original design, but I think that he is pretty fabulous, especially for the price point that you're paying. So we'll put him here. Now we'll put on his accessories and take a look what he looks like with the accessories that he came with. And here he goes with his weapons and accessories. And I don't know about you, but if that's not something that's dynamic for a mech figure or collectible, I don't know what is. You know, like, seriously, people, let me move out the packaging, you know, and you guys can take a closer look at him. As you can see here he goes. He's very well, you got a nice range of movement. He holds his weapon and his sword very well, even though he's more of a melee, I think, guy. I still like the idea of him wielding that sword like a true samurai. I have his leg, you know, completely fleshed out and straightened with the tilt, you know, and you know, and his backpack, as you can see, looks really good on his back, as you can see there. He just looks really cool. I think he's really cool. And let's just get a little crazy. Let's see what we can do. We put him in a kicking position, like he's doing some type of martial arts kick or something. Let me see if I can get him. So kick up, like so. Have him facing this way. Put his arm this way. And because, you know, remember that his legs are really wide, so it gives them the ability to have good balance. And there you go, look, doing a nice solid kick. Now come on, people, are you serious, guys? You're telling me that's not cool? Man, listen, I wish my old school Robotech and Robot Mechs from back in the day did things like this. At the price point that you're getting it, you can't go wrong, dude. This is awesome, just completely awesome. And then if you move it to the side, let's just say, you know, so you guys can get an idea what he looks like next to another awesome Gundam with the dynamics. Here you go, right here. Look at that, another dynamic looking pose, which looks freaking cool. These guys, these Gundams, they're killing it, in my opinion. Bandai and Tamashii Nation are really knocking it out of the park with this series, with this, you know, series of Gundam Universe, with this collection that they're building up. From what I understand, there's another wave that was already announced, Wave 3. I hope it's not the last one. I hope they continue on, because I think as they go along, as you already seen with the two figures that I've reviewed so far from Wave 2, that they improved in the tightness of the joints, more paint applications, and the ability of giving you way more flexibility with the actual articulation. I think they've heard people talk about it, and I think that they're trying to fix that to the best of their ability based off the budgets that they have for these, obviously. And I think people are going to be happy as the series line continues going forward, because that's how it is mainly with most, you know, high-end action figure collector lines. The more you get into it, the deeper they get into the characters and the lore of the characters, that they give you more obscure characters and stuff like that, the better they get in quality. And they even revisit the first characters they released and re-release them with the better articulations and the better paint schemes and the better accessories and even the better mobility, just so that they can give people a second chance to get their favorite character that maybe they weren't happy with in the beginning, feel happy with the newer versions or reiterations or reissues of the characters that they released from the earlier waves. So thumbs up for me. So as always, guys, like I said, if you like what I do on my channel, which obviously if you're here, that means that either you do or you're curious enough to find out if you do, which either way shows me that you took the time to come here when you didn't have to. And just for that, I appreciate it, and it means the world to me, because I know you don't have to and take your time out to come here. So for that alone, I appreciate you guys very much so. And just to give you a quick point of reference, here is what's his name, All Might, next to him, and All Might is kind of in 6.5 inch, 7 inch scale, so you can see how different it is. So push this over a little bit, like so, a little bit more. Like as always, guys, leave a like, leave a dislike, that's a thumbs up, thumbs down. You do what you feel, it's your right as my viewer. And if you don't mind, please share it with someone you think might like it. And as always, leave a comment down in the description below to see what you think and feel about these figures and this particular figure, Barbatos, of Wave 2. And give me your thoughts, because I'm always curious to hear and know and think what people think. And I hope I did the review and unboxing justice, and that you guys appreciate it and don't think I try to disrespect the property or the product in any way, shape, or form. As well as I hope it helped you guys figure out if you want to somehow go out and invest your hard-earned money to add these guys to your collection, because they're worth your time or not. So guys, love you very much. If you ever want to help my channel in the future, you guys know what you can do. The description is down below. I don't have to tell you what you have to do. It's all from your own heart and choice if you choose to. It's not mandatory. Plus, I will be doing a Patreon page soon to see if any of you guys would like to help me in that way, shape, way, or fashion as well, because it will go a long way, especially with someone like me. I'm not a big baller in this thing with big subscribers or with big pockets. Some people are, so they don't need it. So for them it's a little easier. But for me, this is one of my lifelong passions and love, and I want to continue doing it. And I pay everything out of pocket, as it should be. But if you guys can help me make that passageway a little easier by helping out, even if it's with a small little token of your appreciation or love, I guarantee you it's going to go a long way, because I will invest it into the channel, into the content I provide, the lighting, and even getting a better camera or sound and things of that nature. So as always, guys, thanks for stopping by. See you in the next one. Love you. Bye bye.